Hello FPL managers, today we've got the buy, hold, sell for game week 1. In today's video, we go over 2 buy options, 2 hold options and 2 sell options to assist you guys with your transfer planning for the upcoming game week. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe as we try and hit 8k subs by the start of the new Premier League season, and with that being said, let's get into the video. So starting off with the buy options, these are 2 players with a fairly low ownership that we encourage you guys to have a deeper look at as they could prove to be great picks for game week 1. Andrew Robertson features on the buy list as with just an 11.5% ownership currently, he could prove to be an excellent differential in defense. Andy Robertson had a fairly underrated season in terms of FPL last year, as he did actually sneak up to being the 3rd highest scoring defender. This came about despite him just playing 2,500 minutes across the season, as he was very effective per 90. This season though, he's probably as nailed on as they come, so I definitely like him at £7 million in that defence. He did have a very decent 6.41 points per game last season, which did rank towards the top amongst all defenders. In fact, this figure did rank 3rd amongst all players, even better than his teammate Alexander-Arnold, as this stat was only bettered by Doherty and Reece James of all players that played 800 minutes. Furthermore, Robertson's assist per 90 did rank 3rd amongst all players, only being bettered by Doherty and Reece James once more. So with 17 clean sheets, 3 goals and 11 assists across the season, it's no surprise to see him featuring here as he offers great potential all round. Liverpool always do have those clean sheets down pat, as I'm sure he's going to be getting plenty of points from those, and of course chipping in with those goals and assists, obtaining very attacking positions. In the Community Shield, he was getting very far forward, working in tandem with Luis Diaz to make runs into the box and looking very dangerous. In this game, he did have a big chance at the near post and also provided an assist for his teammate. So with Fulham, Palace, United and Bournemouth as his first 4, I expect him to rack in the points. Next up, it's Leon Bailey, who has exactly the same ownership as Robertson at the time of recording with 11.5. He could prove to be a very good budget enabler at just £5 million in the midfield, as he should be starting for Aston Villa in game week 1. He is definitely a very good short-term pick, as especially looking at Aston Villa's first 3 fixtures against Bournemouth, Everton and Crystal Palace, I expect Bailey to provide some good attacking returns. He did average 4.41 points per game last season with 1 goal and 3 assists in around 700 minutes with an XG of 0.2. But with 3 goals and 2 assists in pre-season, plus looking very threatening, he could prove to be an excellent value option that can reward managers with his points per million. Glancing over at the hold options now, Mo Salah features on this list. It is no surprise to see us recommending you guys to hold on to Mo Salah, but I have seen a couple of teams without him, so for that reason he's made it on here. His ownership is sitting at around 60%, which is arguably a bit low considering that he is Mo Salah, as I would strongly recommend the remaining 40% of managers to get him in. There's no reason why he shouldn't be in the team, and he is worthwhile spending the £13 million on, as his underlying stats are excellent. He was the top scorer last season with 23 goals and had the highest XG of 23.66, and was also providing some of the most assists with 14. His points per game of 7.57 was also only better by 1 player in Ben Chilwell, who just played a handful of games. So considering that Mo Salah is such a consistent performer, he has to be an essential pick. Especially since Salah typically starts the Premier League seasons very well, and his starting 4 fixtures are Fulham, Palace, Manchester United and Bournemouth, there's no reason why he shouldn't be in the Game Week 1 squads. Onto the other hold option is Ivan Perisic, who I have seen a lot of transfers out for him recently. Upon FPL launch, his ownership was sitting at around 50%, but has since dropped down to just 29%. But I would strongly recommend any managers that are thinking of moving him out of the squads to hold on to him. He did get 1 game under the belt in the Spurs pre-season, and he looked very attacking, getting plenty of touches in the opposition box, almost looking as a striker at some points. At £5.5 million, he could prove to be excellent value compared to some of the other more expensive defenders in FPL at the minute, as Tottenham's defence was shored up quite a lot with the signing of Antonio Conte as their manager. Of course, Perisic will be playing in that attacking wing-back role, which he did flourish in last season for Inter Milan with 8 goals and 7 assists. His XA of 9.09 was also very impressive, and this stat would have ranked 2nd amongst all defenders last season had he played in the Premier League. So with Southampton at home, Wolves at home and Nottingham Forest away as 3 out of his first 4 fixtures, I would be expecting him to record those clean sheet points as well as getting some attacking returns. Personally, I do like the Tottenham defence compared to the Chelsea defence, especially over the first 4 or 5 fixtures, as I do think the Spurs defence can provide more clean sheets in this time. Now to cap it off, we have a look at the sell options. Reece James is actually the first player on this list, and it may be a bit surprising to see him feature here. But with the shambles that the Chelsea defence is in at the moment, I'm not sure he's a great pick. Over the pre-season, Chelsea's defence wasn't very impressive, and there is still a couple of signings Chelsea are looking to make in defence, which could see Reece James uphold a centre-back role. We did see this happen last season with Reece James playing right centre-back for a couple of games, and with the breakdown of the Jules Koundé deal, he could be in this position in game week 1. Also, with the multitude of signings that have men in defence such as Koulibaly and potentially Cucurella as well, it could take some time for that defence to gel. It's no secret when Reece James plays in that right wing back role, he is very effective, as he averaged 5.42 points per game last season, with 5 goals and 9 assists in 1800 minutes. His XA was also fairly decent at 5.73, but I'm not too sure about his starting fixtures, as in game week 1 Everton away isn't the easiest. There is potential for a goal to be conceded there. Then at Tottenham at home, Leeds away and Leicester at home also could be a bit tricky from a defensive standpoint. So despite these fixtures not being the most tricky, it could provide a couple of challenges for their defence in terms of their clean sheet tally, and with this uncertainty around their defence at the minute, I'm not too sure I'd go with their defensive assets. As we touched on before, the Tottenham defence with Ivan Perisic in there could prove to be a bit better than Chelsea, at least to start the season, as I do prefer those Spurs starting fixtures compared to Chelsea's. Onto the second sell option. This is a player with another very high ownership that I would encourage many managers to move out coming into game week 1. It is Sam Greenwood, who's coming in at £4.5 million and is actually the 4th highest owned forward in FPL, with a very similar ownership to the likes of Harry Kane. But since his ownership is quite high and the fairly low chance of him getting that many points in the first couple of game weeks, I would expect many managers to move him out, which would see his price decrease. Obviously, having a player at 4.4 or 4.3 million pounds isn't the most ideal, as it does make the flexibility of transfers a bit harder, as well as wildcards. He did play a couple of minutes last season, getting himself 2 assists with a points per game of 2.14, and has some okay starting fixtures of Wolves, Southampton, Chelsea and Brighton, but it's just the amount of minutes that he's going to be getting is the concern. So just to wrap up, I am predicting a lot of managers to move him out after the first couple of game weeks, which would see his price decrease, so I would strongly encourage you guys not to have him to start with and go for another £4.5 million forward. Thanks for watching today's video. If you guys want to become a channel member, then click the join button down below and get featured on the members board at the end of the videos, just like Philip Ash here. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to show support for the channel and click the notification bell. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.